Hello! Today I'm going to show my art process. I'm using Prismacolor pencils and alcohol markers. After drawing it out with the pencil, I lightly erase it and then I use a Micron pen in the size 05. It's a dark brown color and I use it to outline the drawing when I'm finished lightening it with a kneaded eraser. Now that I'm finished with that, I get my eraser and erase any extra pencil lines that are there so that they don't interfere with the marker or the colored pencil, because sometimes that can happen. Then I'm gonna grab my markers, which are a bunch of different ones. They're all alcohol based, and I'm using the color powder from Artist Loft to do his skin. And everything I'm gonna do for these past minutes are just bases before I go in with the colored pencils. It's just easier. And then I'm using yellow for his hair. I will have all the color names and numbers listed in the description, so if you have these, you can use them as well, you know. And then I have vermillion for the, I don't even know what to call them. It's not makeup, but it's like little markings around his eyes. Yeah, if you watch Naruto, you know. Then I did his clothes, and now we're moving on to the colored pencils. The first color I'm going to use is 20% cool gray from Prismacolor, and I'm going to use this as a shadow for his eyes. Then using the color 50% cool gray, I'm going to use it as a darker shadow. This is all just shadows. And I always like to do it in circular motions, and then I'm going to get that exact same color that I used, the lighter color, 1060, to blend out the darker color. Then I'm using just pure white. Oh, and it broke. RIP white pencil. But I'm just gonna use that one to add more lights so it's not all gray, you know. And those are the eyes. Now for his irises, I'm going to use color 921 pale vermilion, and I'm using this just to add a little bit of shading to those eye markings, whatever you call them, just to add some depth. Then I'm going in with 1034 goldenrod for his eyes, and I'm kind of doing this like around the eyes so it can have dimension. And then using the same color I used on his eye markings, I'm gonna do that as well. Same thing. It's all about depth. And then I'm gonna use 946 to do those intersections. This one is called dark brown. And then with some white paint and the end of a paintbrush, I'm going to dip it in and do the shine on his eyes. And now they're complete. Now I'm going to use the colors 927, 956, and 945, and this is all for his skin. I start off by building up the light purple color, and I like to use the light purple because it gives life to the drawing and all that. Then I go in with the brown color and layer it on top so that it's not completely purple and it has a little bit more realism, like so. And then I use that light color, which is basically the same color as his skin tone, to blend it all out. It just makes everything nice and smooth. I do that in every single place I added shading, like that. Then I use the color 933 dark purple to do darker shading wherever I need it at. This is just so that it can have a little bit more dimension. I'm gonna go in with 1060 and 1063 again for his teeth, just adding a little bit of shading there. Again, building up the color with the lightest and then adding the darker on top and then blending the two out. Now using 933, 929, and 956. This is all for his tongue. I'm starting off with the lightest color, which is the pink. And then I'm going to add the purple on top of it. Purple just makes it look more like a tongue color because the tongue isn't like completely pink. It has a little bit of purple in there. And then I just keep layering them on top of each other little by little and then blending them all together. And then once I finish that, I'm going to go in with 933 again, and that's just going to be used as shading. And then they will all get blended out. Then I'm using this dark brown just to do the inside of the mouth, and that is that. Now moving on to goldenrod again. I'm going to use this as shading for his hair, also using 942 as the lighter color. And I'm starting off with the goldenrod. Sorry, that's not goldenrod, that's yellow ochre I'm using there, and that's just to give the hair some shading, like you see me doing here. And then I'm going to go in with the goldenrod, which is the darker color, and I'm using that to make it more darker. Words. Then I'm using just plain old yellow to blend both of those out. And that is that. Now I'm going to get out my two trusty grays, starting off with the lightest color, building it up, and this is for his headband. The metal part of his headband, I'm starting off with that lightest color and then building on top the darker color and then blending them both out. And I actually use an even darker color, 1065, 70% cool gray, just to make it even darker. I also used it for the leaf. Then I'm using white paint again and a paintbrush to do the white part of the headband. Really shiny. And my cat came. And that's that. Oh, there she is again. Now moving on to the clothes, I'm using the color 1054, 50% warm gray, and this is just to add shading to his clothing, as you see me doing here. I'm using 941. I'm going to color in that little brown strip that's on his shoulder, and I used a few different colors for that one. Now I'm going to use the color 68 turquoise blue from the illustration markers, and I'm using this just to do that small little white space just so it'll look like a background. Then I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut off the little white piece that was from the tape. Adding my signature, the marker was running out on me. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this process. It was actually really fun to film and do on its own, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment as well, letting me know if you liked it or not. And I am planning on doing a tutorial on how to do eyes. So that's it. Bye!